Hey, welcome back, beautiful Bellcast listeners. I'm Gio.
I'm Bart.
So nice to be back.
Oh yeah.
In this
it's
room.
good.
I really like it. I really like these podcasts with you because I really get to connect with you. And I've said this so many times. But as of late, you've been like really sweet online. What's up with that?
I have?
Yeah. Like, I mean, you're always pretty sweet, but like you just like that whole Mother's Day, like usually some people wait till Mother's Day to appreciate, the moms in their lives. And then you were just talking about my Gucci cooch. And I thought that was fucking awesome. Where did that come from? What inspired this? What's going on with you, baby?
Well, these days, if you guys have been watching the vlogs, you'll see that Tyka's been swimming way more. And like he's able to jump in the water and not only just jump in freely, he wants us to let go, and he holds his breath, and he can open his eyes underwater, and he can pick things up underwater. And he can pretty much, in our hot tub, which is like a 10 by 10, he can jump off of one side. Doesn't even know how to swim yet. He can jump off one side, hold his breath, go blah, 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 underwater, and he's just floating around.
He likes to fuck around
and
in the water.
Yeah, and he'll slowly drift to the other side, even without swimming, without any type of propulsion, and he'll put his feet on the other side and he'll get out of the water. So he's really comfortable in the hot tub. And we've been vlogging it and just documenting his journey. And then I pulled out the GoPro because I'm like, oh, cool, it'd be cool to get like an underwater perspective. So I've been shooting him underwater with photos and video. And I think yesterday I was just looking through the photos and just the moments that I captured, I was like, wow, like I'm the much better swimmer between us two. And the one that has taught him the most about swimming is actually you. And I'm like, man, like you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you're a bad coach or a bad teacher or a bad parent, you're not going to pass that on, and you're not going to be able to nurture someone. It's more important to be more nurturing and actually listen. And that's something that I learned about parenting a lot through you, is how you're able to like not impose what you want. Because I think I'm not as bad as my parents were, like extreme Asian tiger parents.
You don't sound anything like your parents, not even close.
Yeah, but like, Asian tiger parents, they're like, the kid clearly wants turntables, and the mom's like, oh, I could tell he wants to play the violin. And they're like, what? When did he ever want to show he wants to play the violin? Like he obviously wants to be a DJ. And I'm not anywhere like that, but I feel like there's still times where I still slightly, like even when we play, like he'll be like, Papa, do this. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to troll him right now. I don't give him what he wants. But for you, when I watch you parent him, you are there with him. You see what he wants. You see how he pushes the boundaries. So you help him push his own boundaries. And because of that, he's been able to become a way better swimmer, not because of me, but because of you. Aww. And so that inspired me to go, man, I'm so blessed to have such an awesome wife. And Tyka's so blessed to have such an awesome mom.
Damn, that's hella sweet. Thank you, Papa.
You're welcome.
Well, okay. Well, then I guess why you're posting some sweet ass shit. No, I really appreciate you. I appreciate that. Like, I feel very noticed with you. And like,
what does that mean?
Like, not that I do shit to get any sort of praise. Like, that's just not what I do. So the fact that I'm already not doing it for the sake of praise, and then I get praise from someone that I highly respect, aka you. Even though it's kind of hard to tell in our vlogs or like when we're podcasting and shit, just because we like to fuck around a lot. But yeah, behind the scenes or, even in front of the scenes when we're not throwing bits around, like I really do respect and appreciate your input on the person that I am. So like anytime you bring up something that might be perceived as negative, then I really add a lot of weight to that because again, I respect you. And yeah, so to hear these things that you're saying, I'm like, oh, damn, that's tight because like I do strive to be a really good parent and I really do try to.
You're an amazing parent.
Thank you, Papa. And I really do try to support him. And it's hard, because sometimes it's like I kind of fight my parents in my own head.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Where I see him act out a certain way and then I'm like, you're going to let him talk back to you like that? You're going to let him do that? And then on the other side of it, then I put in my own perspective and I'm like, well, wait, he is only 2. Like, is this really
two's not an excuse.
Is this a troubling behavior? Like, is he going to be that kid that's doing the bad shit? So then I'm always like trying to figure out like, am I doing things because I want it, my parents want it, or because that's what's best for Taika? And it's hard, man.
Yeah, that's the tough part about parenting, where I have my parents' voice in my head and something will happen and I'm like, oh, I remember when I used to do that, what would happen? But
Same.
Is that the best way?
Yeah.
So I try to refrain from it, and I'm happy that I'm not perpetuating this like harsh cycle.
Yeah.
But I hear that voice all the time. Like when he talks back, I already see the 5 across the face, the whoop, you know?
Yeah.
But then right now I'm like, no. Use our words. Taika, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about that too. And then I'm just like, well, really, what harm does it do for him to talk back? What is that really showing? That's showing him to stand up for himself. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like, he's not just going to bow down the way. At least I did when it came to adults that I didn't necessarily have to respect, but because that was so instilled in me to respect like everyone. There were some people that I'm like, looking back at it now, I'm like, you're a fucking piece of shit. And like, I should have never have listened, you know? So like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's like, where do you throw in your parents' teachings? And then where is it like where you really look at, or what you think at least, you're looking at it as like the now, the present, like this is what's best for him. Or like looking into the future and going, well, damn, like how is this, what he's doing now going to affect his future? Like it's just a fucking hard thing to do.
And that's what I wrote in my post. No one has the playbook of parenting, you know? Like no one has it figured out.
There's some parents out there, man, that they have kids that all fucking smash it in life.
Just like you. Like that's why when I watch you, I'm like, man, she literally got like the Phil Jackson's guide to parenting. Like,
what?
That's what it seems like.
What are you talking about? Well, thank you. I think you're very nice.
No, I'm like, for real. I'm like, wow, I think she's really good at this. And when I see like some other parents, I'm like, okay, you obviously do not have you have the JV's guide, or maybe you don't even have a parenting, your guide to parenting, you're just winging it. And so when I see you do it and you do such a good job at it, I'm like, man, that's crazy, because I don't know what to do in half the times. And I know sometimes you don't know what to do either. But then the decisions that you make, it looks like you know exactly what you're doing.
Damn. Well, thank you. Damn. Well, fuck. I don't want this to turn into a fucking Praise Geo podcast.
Well, you did it on purpose, you son of a bitch.
I didn't. I swear. I swear.
You did.
I was just curious as to where that came from.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's what
so
you
I really
call it.
appreciate it.
Curiosity.
I really liked also the fact that you grew up with such crazy ass fucking tiger parents.
Yeah.
And not an ounce of that ever comes in. I mean,
Really?
like a good ounce. A good ounce comes in, but not like to the point where I'm like, whoa. Like, you're going overboard. Like, I never feel like you're crazy, like I said, you're crazy parenting, tiger parents style that doesn't come in. At least for me, I don't see it.
I think for me, because I'm so like Taika, like growing up, I'm extremely rebellious, extremely creative, and extremely loves to fuck around. That style, Asian tiger parenting, didn't work on me at all. So I think because of that, I'm very, very conscious of that.
Oh, okay.
But the parts that did work on me, I think are gold, and I'm definitely saving it, but I just don't think he's the right age yet. So the amount that my parents pushed me when the time was right, and the relentlessness and discipline, I think that's super important, and that's something I definitely want to instill in Taika. But I think at his age, when someone that can't even communicate yet, you're not going to understand these advanced concepts of suffering now for the later goal. You know, like, what am I going to do? Fucking drown him now and then like, give him CPR and go, trust me, later on when you fall off a boat, you're going to thank me. So when the time comes, like maybe when he's a little bit more rational, maybe when he's 4 or 5, I'll do a little bit. And then when he's 6 or 7, do a little bit. And then once he starts to really understand, he starts really to dig, like going to soccer practice. That's when I think I can have these like little 2 to 5 minute conversations on the side. I'm like, no. If you sign up for soccer, you better finish the season. There's no debating that, you know, and really force him to finish the season. And then after you finish the season and you tell me you don't want to do it again, we won't do it again. But like, that is, I think, the amount of tiger parenting that I want to put in for him. And like maybe just like along the way too, you know, if he wants to sign up for soccer, what time's practice? 8 a.m. Or guess we're going to be there at 7:30 every morning, because it starts at 8 a.m., which means we have to be there 7:30, and we do our own warm-ups. And then so that when the team shows up, you're ready to rock and roll. Everyone's still waking up. You're ready to rock and roll and ace the whole thing. You know, I'll do the little stuff here and there.
That's tight. I'll prep the breakfast and I'll kiss you guys on the forehead goodbye. And I'm gonna go back to bed.
Fine. So like, yeah, those are the things that I really want to instill, because those are the things that I think I've even just liked about the Marine Corps. Like yesterday,
when you sign up for soccer practice, you have to stick through it.
No, like the Asian tiger parent.
Oh. So then is it Asian tiger parenting, or is it what is it called?
It's just like I think building toughness to build character.
Okay, I like that better.
So yesterday, Don, who's been on this podcast, he's a MARSOC, which means Marine Special Operations. He was teaching Joe how to swim in my backyard, because Joe, you know, he loves Hawaii just as much as we do, and he's been wanting to.
I don't want to go back.
Learn how to not just swim and but also
properly, right?
And also water survival, which are different things. Like swimming underwater, that's different than swimming on the surface, and it's also different than water survival. And I think most people don't know this. Most people
on the surface, swimming on the surface. What the hell does that mean?
So like, you know, when you're on the surface,
Oh,
that's on the surface.
okay.
And then underwater is when you're submerged and you have controlled breaths, because you can't breathe underwater.
Oh, gotcha.
On the
Okay,
surface,
okay,
you can
I'm
still
stupid.
breathe.
I'm waking up.
And so, like, you know, people, they think those three things are the same, but they're not. Because when you think, usually when people think like, oh, Michael Phelps, Olympic gold swimmer, you know, like a gold medalist, he must have insane water survival skills. But that's not the case, because he doesn't swim with clothes on. So water survival immediately also means, what do you do when you have clothes on? How do you turn your clothes into life flotation devices? Can you swim with shoes?
And Joe wants to learn that?
Or maybe shoes are the first thing that you kick off because they're soaking up way too much water. Like being able to make those decisions and already prep for those decisions. Joe, and like most people, I don't think they even know that. So he goes, I want to survive. He goes, I want to be able to survive in water. So the minute he said that, I asked him, I was like, are you talking about swimming with clothes on or off? And he's already like, oh shit, what the fuck? Because I think most people, when they think survive underwater,
they're
means,
already in their trunks.
Yeah, that means I was in my goggles and my swimming trunks, and I'm comfortable at swimming. Comfortable at swimming is swimming technique, like learning the actual strokes. That's different from surviving in the water. But then when Don was teaching Joe that, it took me back to like my Marine Corps days, and I was just like, you know what really built character in the Marine Corps? And this is literally the culture of.
And they kept calling you a fucking maggot.
Yes, this is the culture of the Marine Corps that not only separates the Marine Corps from the rest, but I think what gives the Marine Corps the sense of elitism. Is it the best way to learn? I'm not too sure, because there's way more scientific data, but it really reminds me of Asian tiger parenting style. So in the Marine Corps, when they teach you a technique, like let's say how to shoot dry fire, which is like practice shooting without a round, right? Or teach you a stroke of how to swim, and you swim across. Right after you're done swimming, like let's say, you know, I taught you how to do the dolphin kick. Right after you're done swimming, I'll tell you, get out of the pool, give me 10 burpees. Do 10 burpees right now. All right, now go back in. So in between the lesson, there's always little parts of making the job way harder than is necessary. So when you're doing the actual job, it's actually fucking way tougher than it needs to be. And then later, it's in hopes of prepping you so that later on, when you're faced with actually having to do it, it's actually way easier than when you practice. Which reminds me of the Asian tiger parenting stuff, because, you know, like let's say I only need to learn how to do math questions 1 through 10. The way my mom would teach me is I have to know like 1 through 100. I have to know the advanced way of doing it. After I learned that 1 + 1 equals, or like 2 + 3 = 2, there's 3 + 2 also equal, or 2 + 3 = 5, there's 3 + 2 also equal 5. So forwards and backwards, ups and down, like you have to master the whole thing to do one thing. And that's what made me go, that's also another part of Asian tiger parenting that I really, really enjoy.
Okay. That's nuts.
What's next?
That just hearing all that shit, I was just like, damn, that's tight that that parents teach that way. But that shit just fucking makes my mind melt. Yeah, and I mean, that's what, there's so many just different types of personalities, you know? But that's nuts, man. Yeah, I like the way my parents were.
Oh, okay.
My parents really didn't they really didn't connect with us as people, because I mean they just didn't have the luxury of having the time to do so. But yeah, I'm kind of grateful for that.
I think Asians connect through hardship. You know, I think
with family.
Yeah, Like this is how hard it was for me to learn this. You have a way easier time. You do that too. So I think the American way is like this. Use your tools, right? So, okay, 1 + 5, 2 + 3, whatever. Oh, cool. Here's this new technology called the calculator. So instead of memorizing all that, use the calculator now and then advance yourself past the calculator. What can you invent with that? You know, Asian style is more like, or like the hardcore style is more like, I don't give a fuck there's a calculator. You better learn how to do shit the original way. And then once you show me that you're faster than the calculator, here's a calculator. It's like that.
I mean, none of them are wrong. They're just all different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I'm still so amazed that like, I don't see any of that stuff coming in with Taika, you know, because some people it's just like, it's just kind of programmed into them. And I don't think they realize that they have choice, or it's just so in them that they just works with them. And they're like, okay, it worked for me, so it's going to work on this person. It's kind of like, I don't want to call it lazy because I don't think it's lazy, but it's just, yeah, I guess just knowing that, you know, you just got to use the appropriate tools for whatever the task, that project is, you know. And if your kid that project, then I mean, if the project calls for a hammer, why would you give it a wrench? You know, that type of thing.
Yeah. I also think parenting's 50-50 too. So I try to gauge it that way too.
What's 50-50 what?
Parenting?
No.
Because he's not my kid. He's our kid.
Yeah. Oh, so, like it's between us is 50-50.
Yeah. So like even if I wanted it a certain way, like that's one thing that I hated about my parents is it seemed like they were never on the same page.
Really?
Yeah. Like there'll be times I do something, my dad beats the living fucking shit out of me. And to my mom, it wasn't even that big of a deal. So I'm like, you're telling me you guys could have had a conference and reduced my lashings by 50%? You know, like it's almost as if like, imagine like the justice system is you get thrown in jail first and the judge tells you you're guilty. And then another judge comes in. Wait.
Well,
no,
you serve like 5 years.
Yeah, you serve. No, that was only like 1 year or maybe even a fine. And you're like, what? What is this? What is all this? You know, and like that's how it was a lot of the times where they just didn't seem like they're on the same page at all with anything.
Even when they were married?
Yeah. The only thing they were really on the same page was putting me in Kung Fu. They thought that was cool. But even like how hard my mom pushed me with Kung Fu, my dad's like, why are you pushing him so hard? Because my dad never had like tiger parents in that regard where like you have to be really good at extracurricular activities. So it was just like every chance they had, they were arguing, you know? And then I was good enough to go to the China to compete. And then my dad's like, oh yeah, that's a great experience. He should definitely go. And my mom's like, no, he's way too young. He's only 9 years old. He's not going to go to China by himself. And then, and I wouldn't be going by myself. I'd be going with the team, with my Sifu and all that stuff. But they were just constantly arguing. They're never on the same page. I'm like, man, can you guys be on the fucking same page? So I think with you, it's really important that I'm like, it's 50-50 so that Taika always sees us on the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, on that note, let's pause real quick to introduce our next first sponsor. All right. So I want to introduce our first sponsor, Albert. And if you are, so between Bart and I, Bart's the splurger and I'm the saver. That's so funny.
You're going to start this off with lies?
And if you're either one of those, Albert is going to be the perfect finance app for you.
So be perfect for you then.
No, for saving, yes. And then for splurging, yes. So if you want to get a handle on your money but feel overwhelmed, don't stress, because it can get pretty daunting, like building credit or saving for a house or just saving for college. Like all of these things, it's like, okay, but wait, how do I begin? And who do I ask? And some of us don't have people that have really good finances in our life, you know?
Yeah. And you don't have people to ask because they don't teach you these things in school.
Yeah,
until
at least
it's
the
too
basic
late.
stuff.
And you're like, damn it, I needed 2 years of tax credit to do what?
Yeah, exactly. So Albert is like having a friendly personal finance expert in the palm of your hand, ready to simplify budgeting,
Hell yeah,
saving, and even investing.
Oh, nice.
I think those three things are the most important thing to focus on when it comes to your money. So Albert combines a real human guidance with proven technology so that you can stay in control of your finances and find your happy balance. I absolutely love it. And when you, with a subscription of Albert Genius, you'll always have a team of real human beings looking out for you. So Albert Genius gives you access to real financial advisors. You can message anytime through the app. Like, how cool is that? Where
That's
you're like,
dope.
Like, hey, I'm gonna get this bonus, at the end of this quarter, and I'm just gonna have extra money sitting there. What should I do with it? I think these are really awesome questions to be asking.
Yeah, like how much should I invest? How much should I use as a tax deductible? How much should I use to splurge on myself because I actually been working really hard this year and I want to reward myself?
Exactly. It also helps you with building your savings for a rainy day or that next Instagram worthy trip with Albert Savings. Like, this thing is going to help you so much, you guys. Don't sleep on it. And of course, you can install it for free. So you can install Albert from the App Store or Google Play today to find your happy balance. And you're going to get a bonus up to $40 when you start an annual subscription to Albert Genius.
Sick.
And Albert Genius sounds like that's the way to go. Like, if I had this when I was growing up, trust, I'd be all up in it.
Yeah, having a financial genius in the pocket of your pants. Or the palms of your hands?
Pocket of your pants, palms of your hands.
Oh, damn. Am I Eminem?
You are, dude. Wow. And we're back. Man, every time I was just saying this during our after our ad read, I would always just kind of like, I've been with you for 12 years. I know your story. I want to say like 99% of all your upbringing stories with your parents and stuff. But every time I hear this shit, it's still like, it still like trips me up because I'm like, God damn, like it's nuts.
Why does it trip you up?
Or
how does it trip you up?
Because it's something that I've never witnessed. So personally, I've never witnessed.
You never witnessed on me, or you never witnessed in general in life?
I've never witnessed in general. In life.
Well, what about like volleyball practice, right? Like when like someone messes up and the coach is like, all right, because of that person, everyone runs 10 laps. Or like, oh, Melanie wants to be late. We're all running 10 laps because of Melanie.
I get that.
Yeah.
So I get where that comes from, right? Because there's rules that were established in the beginning. And then when we don't go with those rules, then we get, I guess, punished.
Yeah. And even the innocent people get punished.
Right. So we get punished, but it's not like a psychological punishment, whereas yours kind of seems a little bit psychological. And it's also...
In what way?
Where it's like your mom would be like, you messed up, you figure it out. And it's like, okay, well, fuck, where did I mess up? Like it's a lot of mind games. See. And that's really rough on an adolescent. So that one, and then the fact that like there was a lot of like physical like discipline, but like to an extreme, that always throws me off because I didn't grow up I got slapped and like I got spanked.
Yeah.
But it was never beyond what the crime was. Like even looking back at the crime, I'm like, oh damn. Like they went soft on me, right?
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm going back to the mindset of spanking your kids for discipline or whatever is cool, right? Because what was that? Maybe 25 years ago, maybe 20 years ago when that was happening to me. So like a lot of data has come out, a lot of research has come out, like a lot of scientific studies have happened where we see the detriment to all that stuff. So I'm just saying, back in that day, it made sense. But even when it happened then, it was just like a quick fix and it was done. It wasn't like, I'm gonna beat you and then I'm gonna put you in a corner and I'm gonna make you write these things out and then I'm gonna make you think about it and then we're gonna talk. Like it was never, it's like I got spanked, it ended, that's it. So when I hear your stories, I'm like, holy fuck, like, I don't know, like how you don't have depression, how you didn't have like, substance abuse for a long, like how you don't have more problems. I'm just like, it's amazing to me.
Maybe I do have more problems. I don't know.
Maybe, we all have problems, right? Who doesn't have problems? But I think just the type of lifestyle that or the environment that you grew up in was pretty damn hostile and like rough.
It was actually very hostile.
That I'm just like, fuck, you're a really happy, positive person who's able to I guess even transport yourself back to that time and be like, damn, like, yeah, it sucked, but this is the funny in it. This is the upside to it. This is, you know what I mean? So like every time I hear it again, I'm just like, fuck, it fucking blows my mind.
Yeah, maybe I was depressed as a kid. I just didn't know. And maybe that's the reason why I went through like a crazy drug phase in high school. Just because I think I was just trying to find some sort of positive emotion Because as a child, like one thing that amazes me about like even you and Taika's interaction, it'd be like, let's say he did something wrong, right? And you immediately discipline him. How many times did I tell you not to do that? You spilled it all over the place. You guys clean it up, and it's immediately right back to what the original agenda was, which is, oh, let's play in the backyard. And you're smiling, and he's smiling, and it's happy, and it's like the discipline is very momentary, and it's very fleeting. In my childhood, if we were having a good day, and like let's say at 11 a.m. I spilled some coffee on this table, the whole day is fucked. Like if we were planning on going to the park, we're not going to the park that day. The whole day, my mom gives me silent treatment. We're not talking, and it's
For spilling something?
it's lockdown. All it takes is one thing.
Doesn't matter how big or small.
To me, I mean, it could have been maybe my mom knew, but as a kid, it didn't feel like there was any like different layers of severity. It was just okay. Now, whatever movie we thought we were gonna watch, that's gone. This was going to happen. That's gone. I was supposed to go hang out and play with Mark. That's gone. And everything was just locked down. So I'm just always like this. And I think that's why, like, you know, when we first got into our arguments and stuff, when we first got together, it took like, it was so easy for me to dwell because I'm so used to that. I'm so used to something bad happening and you just dwell in this negative space for the whole day. And it takes me so long to snap out of it. Because I think that's what I'm used to. Like if you fuck up, you're dwelling, you're thinking about it, you're marinating in it. It's lasting the whole day and until you go to sleep, until the next day you have another like restart. Ugh. So I think, so when I see you interacting with Taika, and I'm like, oh, it's awesome. Like he's not gonna have like this. When you mess up, your whole day is gone. It's just, oh, it's just for that thing. Let's go right back to being a loving parent. And I really love that.
That's wild. That's the shit that like keeps me speechless. Like hearing that, like you mess up with one thing and the whole day is fucked. It's like for me, for the whole day to be fucked, like I would have had to have burned down like a house or steal a shit ton of money from like someone we love. Like I need to do that level of shit for it to last that day or even that week.
Oh no, it's like, let's say we're at Disneyland. We already paid all the money to get in. And one thing I do that my mom didn't want me to do, like let's say, I don't know, she always wanted me to tie my shoelaces a certain way or something like that. Don't do it. We're out. Take all of our stuff, go in the car, going right back home.
That just sounds stupid.
Yeah, we'll go right back home. It doesn't matter.
I'm not going to pay $300 to get in. Yeah. And then because you didn't fucking do that, I'm sure it wasn't the time the shoe thing. But if I paid fucking $300, I'm going to have a good time. You're going to not get on the fucking rides. You're going to wait outside. I'm not going to. I might get you a churro.
Yeah. No, it's like that.
But I'm going to get you a fucking churro with a fucking frown.
We never got a churro because we never even got a chance to buy any food.
Because you got in trouble that fast?
No, because that's for rich people, my mom would say.
It is for rich people, man. That shit's expensive.
We always brought our own snacks.
Same. Growing up, it was the same shit for us too. Like we had our own sandwich bag. Like we were the ones sitting on the benches to eat our food. I get it. Even now, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to pay for this shit. But because I didn't get it as a kid,
I'm like, fuck that. I'm buying two of them just so I could throw one in the trash can right after.
No, we don't do that. Yeah, that shit fucking blows my brains. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just so amazed, you know, like it's just beautiful for you to be able to, you know, like take what worked for you, keep that. And then what didn't work, you're like, I don't need it. Get away. Go away. And
then so the opposing argument to all this is, so is it that bad to be that hard on your kids then?
Fuck yeah, it is fucking bad to be that hard
on your kids. Look at me, I turned out pretty good, I think.
No, it took a while though.
It sure did.
It took you till like your 20s for you to be like, oh shit, I got to do this shit for myself.
It took even longer, I think. I think I'm still figuring that out.
You see? No, I'm okay. I like a balance. I feel like life is all about balance. And when you're too extreme on one end, I'm a fucking Libra, all right? Okay. My sign are the scales, and I've always lived by like this like.
When did you first connect to being a Libra? You always talk about the scales and stuff.
I think in high school.
So the first time you read about a Libra and you read about scales, you're like, oh, I've always been about a left and right type person.
Growing up, so my parents were always like, why don't you become a fucking lawyer? You're always trying to talk about what's fair, what's this. I was always fighting for injustices, you know? They're always like, why are you always arguing about this shit? It's not that important. And I'm like, it is. So as far as I can remember, I always talked about fairness and balance. And I'm like, wait, that's not right. So things needed to click for me and needed to be fair in order for me to be okay and move on to the next thing.
But what's fair to you?
Well, it depends on the situation. You know, like it just depends on the situation. I don't know.
I see.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So back then, what wasn't fair to me was that my brother got to go out, but my sister didn't.
I see.
And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Where is this different right now? How? Like my sister's actually older. She's more responsible. She gets really good grades. My brother, not so much.
But because she's a girl, she has to stay inside.
That was what was it's explained. You know, like, oh, you know, with daughters, you have to take care of them more. And I'm like, that shit ain't fair.
Yeah.
Like, why does your son not matter that much?
Yeah.
You know, why is he not as precious as your daughter? Like, they're the same, aren't they? But so those are the fucking small battles I was always having. So then when high school comes around, for some reason, horoscopes are really popular, especially like when you bought like Cosmopolitan magazine. I mean, I didn't get those because those were kind of expensive and they were for older people because they were always talking about sex. But those types of magazines, at the end, they would always have like a horoscope. And I grew up with fucking Walter Mercado. And he was like the psychic. He would always tell you about like that week's.
On TV?
Yeah, on TV, on Channel 34. He always came on, I think on Sundays. So my parents, at least my grandma and my mom, they would always have that on. And every Sunday you heard it and I was like, oh shit. So like I grew up around it a lot.
You know what I miss about magazines?
What?
Smelling them. Remember the magazines? They would always have a flap.
I like the newspaper.
They would have a flap in for all the perfume and the cologne, and they would spray it. So like when you buy a magazine, like the whole magazine usually smelled good.
Yeah.
Because there's like, I don't know, for guys it's like cool water or whatever. So the whole magazine smelled good already because they already put that spray in there.
Oh, you bought guy magazines. That makes sense.
Yeah. But I mean, the girl magazines had the sprays and stuff in it too.
Yeah, it did.
And thinking back now, how hard is it to manufacture a magazine like that with already cologne samples inside?
I don't know. I don't imagine it's that hard.
Because we're in manufacturing. Imagine wanting to come out with a collared shirt and every collared shirt had like 2 sprays of it and it's sealed like this. And you have to produce thousands or hundreds of thousands. It's pretty crazy.
I don't see why it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems pretty crazy to me.
Because I think they just produce a sheet.
And they put it in there?
Yeah.
My nose itches. Hold on. I got to sneeze.
Oh, guess not. Oh, there it goes. There it is.
You know, people always say like, I hate it when I can't sneeze. And I'm like, I've never not had a sneeze feeling and then not sneeze.
Yeah, you have a lot.
No, I always sneeze.
Oh, I hate when it doesn't happen because it's so. I think because I don't have allergies like you.
Yeah.
Something's itching my nose. Because I don't have allergies like you, I rarely sneeze. So when I do sneeze, it feels like this like unplugging of whatever was going on, and it's like this instant relief. And like I just got rid of whatever was bothering me. It's gone now. I can move on with my day because I only sneeze like max 2 times.
Lucky.
In one like sitting.
I sneeze every day for sure.
I know, I live with you. You sneeze a lot, and it kind of interrupts your whole day because it's like for the next 15 minutes you're sneezing back to back to back to back, and you can't drive, you can't talk, you can't engage in any sort of activity. It's rough. So I don't have that. So when I do, I feel it. I'm like, hell yeah, here we go. I'm gonna get unclogged. And then it just stays clogged, and then my nose gets stuffy, and then I just feel like the sensation of still wanting to sneeze, and I'm like, no, I still feel stuffy and yucky.
Why don't you just tickle it so it busts it out?
I try. Sometimes I'll like squeeze like these parts.
Yeah.
I squeeze it a little bit to make it kind of itchy. I guess the hairs inside might make
If you take your finger and you dig all the way up far back where it's super sensitive, and you go like this a little bit, you will sneeze.
Why would I do that?
Because I messed around as a kid and I figured that out. It's almost like going back into your throat and
tickling that little bag sack.
The little dangler, and you throw up.
What is that called?
The dangler.
No, what is it called?
Epiglottis? I don't know.
Did you just make that up?
No.
Oh.
Could be called epiglottis. I forgot.
No, I gotta look it up. But yeah, I miss magazines too. I also miss newspapers.
Why do you miss newspapers?
I think I miss newspapers more than the magazines because I just like the way they felt. I like the way they smelled. It has like a very specific smell to it.
Oh, you know what we were talking about that the other day? Like newspapers?
Who?
You and me.
We were?
Yeah. We're talking about newspapers, how, you know, like back in the day, most people got their news from maybe 1 or 2 news outlets.
Yeah.
And then the newspaper, right? And on the newspaper, there's a sports page. There's like world news page. There's a fashion page. There's entertainment page. And all the different pages, there's different types of news. And they're not all clickbaity and extremely dramatized like the news that we get on social media now. So back in the day, it was very easy to escape any type of negative media that you didn't want to see. You could turn the TV off to another channel or put the newspaper down. And it seems like a recipe. I mean, I don't know because I know this is scientifically proven, but it seems like a recipe for less, what is it called? Like consumption of media that can get you a lot of anxiety. But these days, you know, like the speed that we consume content, it's literally like if a picture's 1,000 words, it's almost 1,000 words a second, right? Negativity, and constantly people confirming other people's negativity, regardless of what side you're on. And it just seems like the world is in a horrible place. Even the way that TV channels, they share the news, it's extremely dramatized. You know, you could clearly tell what side they're on by like either Trump saves the world or Trump is ruining the world on the exact same topic, just the terminology that they use. So it's just constantly bombarded. And if you go on your phone, you're constantly bombarded. And I don't know if all of this is good for mental health, because our primal nature, we're problem solvers, right? Like that's what our frontal cortex is for. Like when we see something, like when we see someone on the side of the road, we want to go help. Or if we see,
I don't want to help.
If we see an old lady at the street, we naturally want to go help them
Yep.
cross the street. Like we're natural problem solvers. So I think that's why there's so much angst and frustration, because we see a problem and your primal self wants to go solve it. But there are things that seem like are out of our control. Like when we see videos of like a National Guard person grabbing a lady and throwing her into a van, you're like, I want to help, but how? Do I get killed myself? You know, you're just all these things that are constantly like putting out these triggers of help me. And I want to do something. What do I do? And I don't know, because I don't ever remember hearing my dad and my grandpa, who are addicted to the newspaper, going, I need to take a newspaper break. You know, the way that people need a social media detox now. And I completely understand why people need a social media detox, because it's fucking crazy. It's nonstop of news, you know, and it's so much to the point where it's not even just what you follow anymore. Because I think compared to the average person, I follow way less of that kind of news, because I just want to like live in my little happy bubble. But when I start seeing like camping tents tie in politics to their posts, or an off-road truck page that is tying in a political meme, I'm like, damn, it's still bleeding into these things. Like everyone can't wait to take a headline and make it their own of their industry. And even that bleeds into my like niche pages. I'm like, what the hell? Bless you. Speaking of sneezing. Bless you.
Two, you see? Always. Yeah, continue.
That's
Excuse
it.
me. And then you're saying that to say that back in the day, the newspaper didn't do that because we just weren't consuming as much information as we used to?
Yeah, I just don't know if it's healthy. Like the amount of negative media that we consume, I don't know if that's a healthy thing.
Yeah. To that note, let me pause you there real quick because I'm going to introduce our next sponsor.
And shout outs to our second sponsor, Manscaped. Summer's in full action, and we're thankful for our sponsor today, Manscaped, for keeping us fresh. And just when I thought that they couldn't get any better, because they already have the lawnmower, they got a nose trimmer, I'm like, what else are you going to make? And funny thing is, the other day I brought my nail clipper to the office, true story, and I left it there. I left it in the shower. Remember when I came back, I'm like, oh no, I don't have my nail clipper. But guess what? Shout out to Manscaped. They just send me
cool.
Their new Shears 2.0. And I'm like, oh my God, this is genius. This is exactly what I needed. Because I always have a nail clipper and I'm always carrying that thing like alone by itself, whether I'm like traveling, whatever. And I don't have a nice little pack the way a lot of females have like their makeup kit, and it's everything in a little kit, so it's easy to remember where it is. So it comes in this little kit. There's nail clippers, there's a file, there's even a little scissors without a point so you won't poke yourself. And I've been using nail clippers and I love it because you know how I'm a martial arts expert?
No, I didn't know that.
So I'm always like kicking bags and stuff like that. And when my nails grow out on the side, one of the things that hurts the most is when my feet are slamming against the bag or someone's skull.
I've never seen that.
You got to stay around more often. But my nails will dig into the side of my toes and it'll actually start bleeding.
Ow!
So that's
wait, your nails dig into the side of your toes?
It'll be like this. This nail is digging to this side of this toe because it's coming out the sides.
So you're beating yourself up.
Yeah. So that's my cue to go cut your nails, dude. And so that's when I was like, okay, where's my nail clippers? I didn't have it. But now that I have it, I have my nicely cut nails. So when I'm kicking skulls, I'm no longer screaming
beating yourself up.
Yeah. So if you guys are looking for a nice little kit, it's in leather, it has tempered steel. It's super dope. You need a 4-piece kit. Like I said, it has slash tip tweezers, rounded point scissors, fingernail clippers, and also a medium grit nail file. Make sure you go check that out. And you get 20% off with our code BALE20, as you guys already know, BEAW20. And you get free shipping at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with the code BALE20.
And we're back. Yeah, I don't know if it's good to be bombarded with a lot of negativity like that, you know, because I do understand what you're saying, because a lot of these things are very clickbaity, because I catch myself clicking on it. I catch myself going like, you know, just a headline like, oh, you couldn't, or the Trump thing, right? Like, Trump's destroying our world because, and then they leave you hanging, and now you're like, wait, why? What did he do now? And then you read it and you're like, oh, okay, well, it's not really that. And yeah, and it really is hard to escape it now, for sure. I really try to minimize all that stuff now, because I think, you know, in the beginning of this, I was really bombarded, like we all were, with a lot of the COVID information. Like, okay, how do we navigate through this time? Because it's something that hasn't happened since the time of the Spanish flu. I don't know what else to call it. So now dealing with that, and then we do, you know, what happened with George Floyd, and then after that, what happened after George Floyd? Oh, and now there's like a lot of conspiracy theories coming up now. You know, the whole like Clinton, the Epstein Island, the child trafficking, and there's just a lot that's going on. And a huge part of me is like very grateful that I get exposed to this and I get to really see the world that I'm living in. Because it's happening. You know, as much as we want to live in our own little happy bubble, we have to really understand that we also, as part of this race, this human race, we all have the ability to change things. We really do. You know, it could be at a very small scale, it could be in a very large scale, but we do have the ability to change things. And the more that we know about the things that need changing, the more likely the things that need to change will probably change. So I'm grateful in that sense that I'm getting exposed and I'm getting educated so that I can bring about positive change. But on the same token, because there's so much false information happening and there's just a lot of, you know, misinformation and you know, in addition to wanting to be better citizens, better people of this race, you know, we do have to do our due diligence, and we do have to do our research, because we have to make sure that what it is that we're you know, taking in and then putting out into the world is accurate. But it's like, who really has the time to do that stuff? You know, unless that's what you're devoting your whole life to. Like, some of us have to wake up hella early to start the day so that we can work, so that we can provide for our family, you know? And it's like, again, I'm going back to the balance. You know, it's like, it needs to be balanced. And when you're consuming a lot of this information, it's like, well, wait a minute. It already triggered this emotion because that's what it's supposed to do. This headline's supposed to elicit some sort of reaction. And usually the happy ones don't get as much click through as like the negative ones. So now I'm riled up, but I don't even know if this shit's accurate. So, and I don't even have time to check if it's accurate. So now I have to it hits me. I get this emotion. I'm carrying it with me now. I don't have the time to do the research, because I now have to go to work, or I have to take care of my kids, or I have to do whatever. And being feeling that, or being fed that on a constant, can be kind of rough.
Yeah. Do you think it's healthy?
I don't think it's healthy to be online as much as we are already. You know what I mean? Like that already, regardless of the information that's getting passed around, whether it's negative or positive, I feel like nothing is more precious than just
being present.
The natural human experience.
Yeah. Being present in real life.
Exactly.
Not online life.
Exactly. And I understand, because I'm also part of this generation and I see the joy in it and I love it. And I love being on my phone and I like being on TikTok. I fucking love TikTok, by the way. I like being on Instagram, not as much as TikTok, but like, I like consuming all these different things. I like to see what my friends across the country are doing. Like, I see the positive things in it.
Yeah.
But even with that, if I did all the positive, exploring of the internet for a long period of time, that's also not healthy.
Yeah, I think it's the same. We can end up getting into the same predicament as too much porno. You know, for like the reason why they say like watching too much porno is not good for your sex life is porno is specifically edited portions to trigger a dopamine response, right? So the angles, the speed at which things happen, and if you're constantly getting like, if you're equating sex to a very concentrated form of sex, constantly you're getting that dopamine response, then when you're starting to have sex in real life, it's gonna feel bland. It's almost like drinking milk versus condensed milk. Like, whoa, this thing it's short, intense, has a ton of flavor. Versus normal milk, you're like, wait, what the hell is this bland thing? And I feel like even with things that seem positive, like TikTok, it could even get that way because you're going to look at other people's lives and see how amazing. I mean, it's even on Instagram, right? You see other people's vacations and you see other people's lives and you see how amazing that is. And then when you turn it off and you go back to your own life, and it's almost like your own life sucks when your own life is actually probably pretty freaking dope. It's just you're too busy staring at someone else's dog to realize how cool your dog is. And your dog is just there the whole time that you can also pet and take them out on really cool adventures, but you just rather watch the other person take that dog to a waterfall.
Yeah, I agree. But I think with the pornographic example that you're giving, I think a lot of that can also happen. And this is just my own dumbass assumption. I think a lot of that was happening because, or is happening because there's such a stigma and taboo when discussing sex in this country, at least. So when a lot of these people were consuming it at the rate that they're consuming it, they don't really have an outlet or anyone to talk to about this, about just sex. But I think the more that we're open about it, and now there's like, you know, different influencers or just different people talking about it openly, about having already one, a sex addiction, and then two, having like a porno addiction. I think it starts normalizing things so that people can now start looking at it and being like, oh, okay, wait, this is going to be different than real life. Because I think before, even recently, I don't think people were having these conversations.
So you're saying this is part of the evolution. I
think so.
You need people to consume it. You need people to over-consume it in order for people to have these conversations, in order for these people to have these conversations, in order for people to study it, to have the new findings that are like, wait, this is actually bad.
Unless we get rid of the whole thing, which I don't see happening.
I see, yeah.
So I think it has to be part of the evolution because there's so many people making money off of it. And it's such a human experience, not the porno part of it, but just exploring your sexuality.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't grow up being comfortable with my sexuality because that's just, you know, against the religion, against the culture, against a lot of things. And I think a lot with this country is that same way, where a lot of it is heavily tied into church, even though this country is supposed to be about separation of church and state. That's not the fucking truth.
It's not the truth, yeah.
At all. So just saying like, oh, it's bad for you. And I think it's just we just have to work around it.
I see.
I think we just have to work around it. The way with this news, like it's dope now because now people are waking up and realizing that everything that is given to them isn't true. So now people are asking more questions, whereas back in the day, like, you know, when we're all reading newspapers, we all assume that because it's published, that now it's truth because someone did their due diligence and they did their research. And how can you print fake news, right? Like we all trusted that. But now it's unfortunate. We don't trust anything. So we're like, is that what really happened? And that's why all these conspiracy theories happen because people are constantly questioning everything. So I just think it's all part of the evolution. Is it healthy? I don't know. But I think us dealing with it more and having it more in our face, we just have to work around it.
You know, my dad's been fact checking.
Doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it at all, but he's been. So back in the day, he would always buy 2 newspapers.
Oh, that's tight.
He would always buy 2 Chinese newspapers. Like one is more of like a national level one. So it's like a thick one. And one's like a local, like LA Asian or Chinese newspaper. And so he would read both of them. And one was thin and one was thicker. And he would always just read just to see what their perspectives are. Oh. But they're probably both from the Asian perspective. So they might disagree with each other. But
that's funny. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's tight.
Yeah. So he's always been But I also think, you know what, confirmation bias, where
Yeah,
you already
right.
believe something.
Right.
So it could already be too, where he already believes in something. So he's watching talk shows that validates his thoughts, or buying newspapers that already validates his thoughts. I don't know if he's buying newspapers from the other side to hear their thoughts.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Your dad seems like a pretty,
Handsome guy.
yeah, he seems very handsome. No, he seems like a pretty level-headed dude. Like, he seems like well, I mean, I don't know him enough, but like, he'll say some stuff that like is pretty philosophical, you know, and then it seems like he looked at the other side.
He's pretty philosophical and he's pretty profound. I would say he is.
Okay, cool. Because you gave me a face like I'm tripping.
No, it's just because I know my dad in two different ways. I know my dad in the guy that's full of rage, and nothing that guy says makes sense. Because he's the type of guy that'll say like, "I regret having you as a son. Get the fuck out of my house. I don't know who the hell you are." And then there's
I've
a guy.
never heard that from my parents.
Then there's a
Thank
guy
God.
that calms down and then goes, "Hey, do you want to get in and out tomorrow?"
Aw.
So like when he's calm, the times that I've actually go to him for help, like when I need human help, I do go to my dad over my mom, because my mom's not even part of this world. So I do ask my dad for help, and he gives me like really good advice, you know?
He seems that way. That's another thing about like the being exposed to too much that you're saying that like might be unhealthy. I like right now what's happening is just a discussion of mental health. I like that a lot. I like that people are waking up and being like, wait a minute, these are like the way I'm behaving right now. These are some sort of triggers that happened to me. Wait, why do I have these triggers? Oh shit, it's because of trauma. Wait, where did this trauma come from? Oh, growing up. And then like uncovering all that stuff and then fixing all of that. You know, so hearing you talk about your dad, about how like, oh fuck, I wish I never had you, blah, blah, blah. Like that's his traumas.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how either he coped with shit. That's something that has nothing to do with you. And I think that's dope. So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, just us evolving with what's happening right now, and just understanding that, hey, we need to take a break, and understanding that, hey, the present and the real life right here is way more irreplaceable and way more fulfilling than what you're holding in your hand. Even though that's fun as fuck, and it really does.
Yeah, you don't follow the pages I follow. They're fucking fire.
I follow a lot of fun pages.
Mine are fire.
I follow like almost 2,000 different things, and you name it, it's my range of things that I follow is so fucking massive. I follow like,
I guarantee you there's two things you don't follow, and you should.
tell me.
Number one, Yukon Denali, the hashtag.
Oh, shut the hell up.
So the Yukon Denali, the hashtag.
I don't follow any car shit like
And
that
then
specific. I follow fixed up car stuff.
2021 Tahoe Z71. Do you follow those two hashtags? Do you follow hashtags?
No.
Exactly. Amateur.
No, I don't follow hashtags at all. But I follow a lot of different pages. And it's really cool.
The two most important you already don't follow.
I even follow pages I don't agree with.
Oh, I love following those.
Yeah. Like, I know you were getting shit because you followed Donald Trump, and people are like, why does he support Donald Trump? And I'm all, first of all, shut the fuck up. People can support whoever the fuck they want to support. Two, he actually doesn't support Donald Trump.
I do. I support him to the death.
No, you don't. Shut the fuck up. You don't support him at all. You like to follow to see what policies are happening or what types of conversations those people are having.
Yeah, I follow Hillary Clinton too, and I also follow.
Oh God, I can't even look at her
feminist
face.
pages, and I follow extreme right pages, because to me,
There's nothing wrong with feminist pages or like extreme feminism.
extreme.
Oh, okay.
There's ones that are ridiculous. Yeah, there's ones that are pretty crazy. But so I follow all of them because I think
There's some car ones that are pretty fucking crazy, like fucking hashtag Denali and shit.
Yukon Denali. The new ones are sick. So yeah, as a comedian, because we're the modern day philosopher, and that's our craft, which is trading thought, flipping it, making fun of it, and throwing it back and forth at each other. I think being like, if philosophy and word painting is my craft, it's really important for me to know what all the colors are that exist. It's just like an artist, right? Like if you go, hey, all neon colors are out of your reach, then now they're only painting with these colors, and they don't know the full spectrum of notes or colors or anything like that. So I think for me, as a comedian, I like to follow things I don't agree with, things I do agree with, things that are very extreme on both ends, so I could just see what are all the notes are out there. And that's, I guess, a shorter explanation for when people ask me why I follow Donald Trump on Instagram. It's really hard to type in fucking like 100 letters why I do things. So I just ignore those comments.
And don't come at me to fucking reply on fucking Bart's behalf. If you have something to tell Bart, tell Bart.
Just tell me.
Yeah, don't come to me fucking for answers.
But if it's the wrong platform, I'm not going to reply. Like there's times where people ask me a straight up question that it's supposed to take like a 5-page essay to reply. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This is Instagram, dude. Instagram is dick and fart picture, dick and fart caption, dick and fart comment. That's it.
That's not what Instagram is. It's pretty connected.
Yeah, but it's still dick and fart. We got like what? You can only put 10 pictures up and
right.
maybe how many? 100 characters?
You could do it in here. You can go in here.
Any actual thought that I need to convey to someone is going to take at least 10 to 15 minutes of speaking. So to me, Instagram is dick and fart, you know?
I mean, we all use it differently. But yeah, if you got some shit to tell Bart, Bart's his own person. Maybe you guys view us as like inseparable and having one mind and having only one life. But Bart is entitled to his own opinions and his own.
Everything that I do that I disagree with, make sure you hit Gio up about it.
No, I don't want to fucking read your fucking arguments to Bart.
I love how they go.
That has nothing to do with me.
I love how they hit you up to go, I can't believe you're married to someone that follows Donald Trump.
Yeah, I'm like, are you fucking 9 right now?
That's so convoluted.
It's so weird.
Yeah, but I can't believe you would marry someone that follows Donald Trump.
Because there's a lot of things that you
Why
and
would you do that?
There's a lot of things that you and I don't agree upon, but we can agree to disagree. And I think that's perfectly fine because I'm my own person, Bart's his own person, and you should be your own person too. And you shouldn't go after people just because they're kind of related or linked in some way. You can't just be like, oh, what the fuck? How can that be your dad? It's like, well, fuck. I don't know. Go to him. His life isn't my life. But anyway, that was my little rant. Yeah, I think on that note, we've reached the end.
Just gonna call it quits.
This is the end. Beautiful friend, the end.
What song is that?
It's The Doors.
Oh, I love The Doors.
What's the lead singer's name?
Led Rufus.
How dare you?
What was the lead singer's name?
Jim Morrison, bro.
That's what I was gonna say. Led Rufus is the bass player. Jim Morrison.
They don't even have a bass player.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
What's all that bass in the background?
It's not bass. They tricked you. Just kidding. Okay, so thank you guys so much for listening. And also thank you to our sponsors.